Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Kanala modded class build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This is added to the in-game mod manager in patch 7, so hopefully soon console players will be able to use this one as well. Where this is unique is it's a dexterity based class, but it also uses charisma. It's kind of like a paladin, in between paladin and ranger, but also like a warlock, and I'll be showing you this all the way through. There's two distinct subclasses, so I'll show you this here, and the first thing we gotta choose is our spells. Now shield is a essential spell. Anytime you can get this, always take it. Increasing armor class by 5 is huge. I like Thunderwave to push enemies off of cliffs, but inflict wounds is nice too for a 3d10 necrotic, although this does kind of dip off in Act 2 because there's a lot of things that resist necrotic, so we're gonna go with Thunderwave for the pushback. Now for our class passives, we can get guidance here and proficiency in history. This allows us to get speak with animals and speak with the dead. Kanala prosthesis gives us proficiency in perception and survival. I really like this one, adding our constitution modifier to armor class when not wearing armor. So we can go with like a clothing option and add our constitution. So if you have the constitution amulet, go with this one. If you're early in the game, go with the transformative serum, giving us proficiency with heavy armor. So really up to you, but I would recommend going with this one here if you're later in the game. Symbiotic creature allows you to feast on enemies for food and then consume remains to regain health points. But as far as our ability scores go, we're going to go with something like, we'll go with 14 constitution, 16 dexterity, 16 charisma, so right around there. You can dump constitution later on if you get the constitution amulet and put those points into wisdom or even into strength, but I'll go over the full build guide here and a bit of combat as well as the items near the end. So this one does have a good amount of health, which is nice. Now we get to pick some class passives. So we get the options of Flare, which gives us the ability to light up an area with a bonus action. Guise, which gives us Thaumaturgy and Friends. Leap, which enhances our jump distance by 2 meters. It's just a passive, so that's nice. Locust cantrips, whenever you'll use a weapon whenever you need to, but you prefer to have your locust to harm your enemies. So this gives us Shocking Grasp and Poison Spray. Locust Energy is nice because this gives us Locust Energy, giving a 1d4 of damage type as a bonus action and saving throws. This can add to your throwing weapons too. So I like cold damage because you can use the Frost Burst or the Snow Burst ring to create ice surfaces with that. Locust Weapon allows us to change our weapon damage type, so we can make piercing damage out of any weapon, which is huge. Pull can pull enemies towards us, and it's a bonus action. And then Trip gives us tripping attack. So lots of really great ones. I'm going to go with the Locust Cantrips, Locust Energy, and Locust Weapons is pretty good too. So we'll go with, I guess, that. We'll take off Trip and go Locust Energy. Changing your damage type to piercing using the ballast armor is a good move too if you'd wanted to go that route, or you have someone with the ballast armor there. But Trip Attack is also a really nice choice. So some pretty good choices here. And then next we got our choice of our subclass. So there's the Host and the Lionheart. So the Lionheart, duty to protect others, so this is more so like a good aligned one. The Host is more evil aligned, giving us Arms of Hadar and inflict wounds. So we previously didn't take that, so we can get it there. Command being a really nice spell. We'll go with the Lionheart for this one because command can be pretty useful. Now this gives us a bonus action command, which is nice. And these are both actions, so getting a bonus action command is actually pretty overpowered. Then we can take our inflict wounds if we'd like from there, or Long Strider, which is nice to have. So we'll go with the Lionheart there. And then our level 4, we get another class passive, so we can get things like Leap here to increase jump distance, or Trip, which is always a good thing to set up sneak attacks for your rogues. And then for our ability score, I'd like to take our charisma up, although you can go with a higher dexterity as well. At level 5, we get our extra attack, pretty nice, and then we get level 2 spells, so we could take our magical weapon there if you'd like. It's not like a terrific selection of spells, but we do get Misty Step, so we're going to take that there. This is a half caster, so they don't get full progression. We get our Magic Bond weapon, so this allows us to infuse our weapon there. This is based on our subclass, and then we also get our Hold Person too, so that's pretty nice. Hold Person being a very useful spell to use. At level 7, we reduce most incoming and damage, excluding bludgeoning, force, piercing, and slashing damage, so reduce damage by 3 on most magical damage types. Pretty nice. And then for our cantrip, or for our spell, Mirror Image is nice for increasing armor class by 9. Invisibility also being a pretty useful one, especially if we're not going with heavy armor. And then we get to choose another passive, so we can go with something like Pull or Leap. Increasing our jump distance is nice, but we'll go with this here. And then once we get to level 8, we get ourselves another feat, so we can take our charisma up to 18. You can also go with Alert, and even take your dexterity up higher if you want. But for our main spellcasting modifier, having a higher charisma is always useful, especially if you're the face of the party as well. And then for our next level, we do get awesome spells here. So we get our magic weapon, which we already have, and lightning bolt, which is massive. Getting that spell is just great, because we don't have many spell slots, but using it for that is good. We also get grand flight and haste, so pretty useful. And then we can take one more of these here. You do get more if you choose the other version of the other subclass, so that is one thing to consider. Then we get an improved extra attack, making 3 attacks with the main hand weapon. This is when the class becomes pretty overpowered. You can take Vampiric Touch or Revivify. What's nice about Vampiric Touch is you regain health with it. Fear gives hits in a cone and can make enemies drop their weapons and become fearful, which makes them pretty useless. So Fear is actually a pretty overpowered spell as well. And then for our final feat, we can go with an ability score improvement, take our dexterity up to 18 for increased armor class even further. So what does this look like in combat? So we get a few different choices for our attacks here, lightning bolt being a really nice one. So we have 27 armor class. This is just using one of these here, but whenever we go to actually using actual armor, I guess that's 25 there. So yeah, I guess with some other options, like if you wanted to go all in on the ballast armor, that's another choice there, but it does remove your constitution based defense, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Armor of agility increases the overall agility there, so or increases our armor class a bit, which is nice. So yes, in clothing with 11 armor class, that's why we had our armor class go boosted up. So you can go with that if you want to increase your overall damage, or even Robe of the Weave, which is nice for adding to the armor class as well. And then we can put on our good old-fashioned Cloak of Protection if I can find it here. So boom, this will give us a 20, should be 26 armor class. I'm not sure it's increasing. So we got our +4 from Dexterity, +6 from Constitution, +1 from Ring of Protection, Evasive Shoes, Cloak of Protection. I don't know why it's not updating correctly. It should be a little bit higher than that, but yeah, that's interesting. I guess weird, but then we can also add in a shield to take this even further up, and then we can swap it up, and that changes to 28, and then we can put on something like Belm in the main hand. Crimson Mischief's nice, or even like the Blade of the First Blood, or Bloodthirst there, to be able to give vulnerability to piercing damage, so we can go ahead with that. And then we also have things like our Pull, which will pull targets towards us, which is nice, and then we can line up for a big lightning bolt, so pretty effective there. We also got the ability to cause fear. We got the ability to change our damage type, so if we're using any type of damage, we can make it piercing damage, which is kind of cool. So Locust Weapon pointed, and then we also have our Locust Energy, which allows us to do cold damage, so we can apply that. It's only for 2 turns, so you do have to be mindful of that. It's a bonus action too, so we also get Warlock spell slots, which is kind of cool. But what's nice is we can also go with that magic weapon and then use something like the we have the Killer Sweetheart there, but we can go with the Snowburst Ring, which will create ice surfaces. So whenever we use our Locust weapon there and put it cold, you can apply that and then go ahead with an attack, and it'll create ice surfaces for people, which is pretty fun. You do want to make sure that you're using boots that allow you to walk on ice surfaces, though, or else you'll see exactly what happened there happen to you. So that is a fun thing about that, but we do got a lot of spells. We got our Warlock spell slots there for things like haste, or I guess haste is not even a spell, so we can use that freely. We can use hold person freely too, which is nice, and command as a bonus action without using a spell slot, so pretty useful is there. We also get our magic weapon, lightning bolt, but typically what this looks like in combat, we'll go out into the overworld here and just give a little combat demonstration. This class gets the 3 attacks, so it is pretty strong, but it's not broken overpowered. So I guess we can. I'll start a fight out here, but yeah, I guess I've already taken out a lot of enemies. I don't like to attack the townspeople, but we'll just do it for testing purposes. So you can just drop a ton of people like that. So they were showing off their magic. We had to show off our magic, and then we'll get approached by guards here soon. As soon as they tell on us. Stop that. So yeah, it's pretty powerful. We also got our ability to cast haste on ourselves, which lasts until long rest. So pretty powerful, giving ourselves haste for 2 actions. So that's 6 attacks, 4 if you're on honor mode, and then you could also do a few different spells and stuff like that too. So what's nice is a lot of these don't require us to use any type of action or any type of spell slot. So it's really just our Thunder Wave, our Lightning Bolt, anything you see great out there. So yeah, we can only hold a concentration, This guy's probably going to approach us here. If not, we'll do the deed for him. So, luck of the fire. There we go. Got to attack off. And we'll just attack him here. So, the nice thing about haste is we get multiple attacks. And then we can also go first, too, because we have pretty good initiative. So, basically, you want to be using your... Like, you got your trip attack here, too, which is nice. Disarming strike. Things like that. So, we can go around. Oh, we took him out. That was relatively easy. And then we can run on up over here and go ahead with another attack, applying the vulnerability to piercing damage that will then abuse with this next attack. Boom. And then it hits in a huge area there. So, very strong. All it takes is 2 hits with this weapon, and you're mostly going to take out most enemies, as you can see. So, it is pretty powerful. I didn't even have our elemental weapon set up either. So, and then as a bonus action, we can do command grovel or command... some type of command spell. So I guess look for our targets. They're way over here. Yeah, too far. So we won't be able to use that there, but then we can even use our elemental weapon and add some extra damage to us. So boom, end turn. I'll just end turn there. They're going to come running over. But yeah, this is a pretty powerful subclass. Giving us the fighter's extra attack and spell casting is nice. It's not like extremely overpowered either. Like, it is obviously pretty strong, but not to the point where it breaks the game completely. So that is a nice thing about that. And Gale's got the visibility there. But yeah, I'll just show off a little bit more of the combat because this is an interesting one. Getting haste, and obviously haste is pretty powerful. It's pretty strong getting into long rest, and then also getting the ability to use things like your extra attack 3 times. This is on Tactician, so it's pretty powerful. And we got our Elemental Warp there. Erupting Cinder. That's fine. Didn't take too much damage. And then I'll go back here. I have the boots on, so this doesn't bother me. I don't even know if that person's out in combat. I was going to say, I don't know if they're in combat. I don't have enough movement speed. So then we got our attacks here, so we can even just do bow attacks times 6. So... pretty strong. Yeah, this class is quite fun to use. You get the ability to attack 6 times on Tactician or below, so it's pretty powerful. Haste, it's got it all. It's got casting. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about the Kanala class in Baldur's Gate 3 in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.